Gamirror Games의 토니 숑 비즈니스 매니저님 이 자리에 함께 해주셨습니다. 오늘은 When a tiny passion and glimmers unite, they can light up an entire realm 이라는 주제로 발표를 해주실 텐데요. 네, 이제 무대로 모시겠습니다.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. Okay, right now let's start with a photo, which is a annual meetup that I host in the name of Indie Light. It's called Indie Spark. We took this photo right before 2024 WePlay, and during this event, on the photo, there are more than 400 people attending. So let's talk about the rising Chinese indie game market. Here is a brief introduction of myself. I'm very lucky to be the first group of people who engage with video game in the mainland of China. The time was 1983. And also I was really lucky to be the first group of people who run indie game Meta Salon and also exhibition since about 10 years ago. So here, what we call Indie Light. So we have a slogan like the spirit of independence and also the mindset of freedom. So here, Indie Light is the first non-profit platform in China that connects game creators and enthusiasts. It provides comprehensive empowerment to developers in terms of education, investment, incubation, and community building. The Light of Hope developer space stands as China's exclusive incubator, dedicated solely to nurturing premium game projects. Indie Light is committed to bridging the communication gap between exceptional original game developers and the industry, with the goal of cultivating a fertile ground for creating games and contributing to a thriving and diverse gaming landscape in China. So please take a look at this chain structure. We have R&D talent pool development. We have incubator. Right now, in fact, we have two. Here we are demonstrating the inner incubator, Light of Hope. And also we have funding for the seed round and angel round. It's also called the Light of Hope Initiative or Outer Heaven Fund. And also we have publishing service as Gamirror Games. It's also a indie game publisher that under our incubation since 2018. Gamirror Game has published over 105 games on Steam from all over the world, not just in China. But our focus is in China to engage the Chinese gamers. And also we have a community, it will be released in October this year. It's called Gamirror World. And here you can see something more in detail. We have a WeChat official account with over 3,200 developers, and also we have an exclusive art center for developers to run events almost every month in Shanghai. And also we have exclusive game events. For example, the CCG Expo, which is the China International Cartoon and Game Expo. We have an Indie Light area. Last year, we were running more than 45 indie game booths during this event. And also, we have Gamirror Games, as we mentioned, and partners in 15 countries across 5 continents. So let's take a closer look of the Light of Hope incubator. Well, currently we have 10 studios under incubation in a whole floor in a building. Right now, there are 3 studios in A round and 7 studios in the angel round investment. And here you can find the QR code if you have a WeChat. That will lead you to our official account. And also, here is the photo. Oh, sorry, maybe someone is scanning. Okay. Okay. Please scan the QR code. So this is just part of our incubation. We're talking about Light of Hope incubator in Shanghai. So in the next page, you are going to see the photo of this incubator. Okay. And this is the office of the team who developed the Lost Soul Aside. What is Lost Soul Aside? So this is the protagonist. And it is part of the China Hero project. And here we have a video clip. Let's see the trailer of this game. Okay.
I keep having the same dream. A horrible dream. Where monsters invade our world. A powerful being falls from the sky. And when it seems they might vanquish the invaders, the dream ends. Is this really just a dream? My only hope lies with you.
Come, Kaiser. We will travel across worlds, leap through dimensions together. I see great power within you, a destiny waiting to be fulfilled. Let me be your vengeance, the blade in your hand. You never wanted to be a hero. But for humanity's sake, you must.
Then give me your power, Arena.
So the release date will be August 29th. Okay. Here is a photo of another team under our incubation. It's the Paula Studio, and the producer in this studio gave another speech yesterday afternoon. And Karma the Dark World is their. They have released this game. Let's take a look at this video. Oh, please click on the play. Oh, sorry. The next page. Yeah.
To be honest, I just don't know who I am sometimes. I mean, when I dive into their hands, merge with them, those people.
What happened to me?
My body's obliterated in the blink of an eye.
Oh my.
Then bang, I'm stuffed into another body. Smells and no sensations. This looks like pick a card game. You don't know which cards you're going to pick. But here's one thing for sure. They're all the absolute worst.
Daniel McGovern, a Rome agent from the Thought Bureau. My company ID is 8490.
Daniel, Leviathan's agent, a smuggler and a thief. He's as much a criminal as the others.
After that, those curses with you forever.
Do you know my parents? They're in this photo. But
and no longer see them clearly. But yet, Mom,
Daniel, only your existence is real. Will disappear in the sands of time until the very last moments. No matter how the sands of time may ravage you, I will love only you. Because you, and only you, are eternal in my heart. Should I address you as Daniel McGovern?
Almost every time, the killer intentionally left clues for me, encouraging me to delve ever deeper. I don't know if it's a trap or...
Join us, Daniel.
I don't want to die. Daniel.
And now I can trust no one, even the company.
Hold my hand tightly.
This game was released on Steam 27th of March this year. Is heavily inspired by the novel 1984. Okay, this is the main entrance of the Light of Hope incubator, which is, we call it the internal incubator. And Outer Heaven Fund has currently invested over 23 seed round teams and spread across 6 cities in China. And there is another incubator, which is running by the collaboration between IndieLight and Shanghai government. And this incubator right now is under renovation and will be opened later this month, before China Joy. And also, this is the CCG Expo that we mentioned. From the year of 2019 to last year, we are showcasing over around 350 games in this event. And also, this is the photos of the Light Art Center. And also, this is the Indie Spark that we mentioned earlier. Since 2023, every time during China Joy and we play, we're going to throw an Indie Spark annual party. So this is what happened in the last party during We Play, which is last November. And also, this is the IndieLight Game Design Workshop. I've been hosting this workshop, or another name, that is Paper Prototype Game Design Workshop, since 2016. Right now, I've been running this event for over 82 times across 12 cities in China. Okay, there are so many things we need to cover in the next 20 minutes, so I will make the pace faster. So it's a brief introduction of the history of the video game market in China. This is my first console, which is Atari 2600 Junior, back in 1984. And I think everyone knows this, right? In China, we call it Famicom, or there is an illegal clone. The name is Super. In Chinese, it's 小霸王. So at that time, in the 90s, at least there are 50 million gamers who play that game. I mean, all kinds of game on Famicom or NES. And also, this is the first video game company established. They are headquartered in Beijing from 1995 to 1998. And they had got investment from IDG, which is International Data Group. But unfortunately, because at that time the market is full of bootleg, piracy, so it's really difficult for them to survive. And after that, I think things goes down because people think if you want to make a video game company, impossible for you to survive. But things changed since this game went popular in China. I think a lot of Korean friends, you know what this game is, right? The Legend of Mir. And later, that's the World of Legend. Suddenly, people realize, oh, making an MMORPG can make money. And you can survive, definitely survive. And for the first time, I can see their recruitment for game designers or game planners, artists, because of these games. But very soon, things went from one extreme to the other. There are so many followers to do MMORPG. So there was an era when the core gameplay of 1,000 game was exactly the same, but only with the look of the game changed. And also, in about almost 2 decades, such pop-up advertisements can be found online in China, on the internet, everywhere. Until there is a game who came out of nowhere to change the idea what video games should be like on App Store in 2014. I think you know this game, right? The Monument Valley. Because a lot of people realize, oh, I didn't know video game can be so art, can be so creative. I want to know more about it. So that's the very beginning of the first shifting. Well, when people think, oh, video game is all about slashing the monsters, and you need to. It's kind of a combination for free to play and pay to win. But this game changed their mind. They start to think, oh, there are other genres in the game. And very soon, that's the photo of PlayStation booth. It's the first time ever you can find it in China, which is at China Joy 2014. That's the first time you can see this, and also Xbox booth. And also, there are a lot of indie developers were invited, and that's the first time I organized an event in Shanghai, just right beside the venue of China Joy, and we call it Chaojiangnan Restaurant Meetup. And you see all these people. You can see Simon, founder of CIGA, and also the founder on the left, the founder with glasses, the founder of G-Core, which is the biggest online media on video game. And also there is some kind of a group photo. I was less slimmer at that time. So that's what we call the biggest indie game, developers meetup back in 11 years ago. And very soon, after 2 months, is the GDC China 2014. Oh, please click on the. At that time, that was IGF China.
To get feedback from a whole different type of playing style is awesome. It's been an incredible experience. And we've had a lot of great feedback, so we're really happy to be here.
This is John, the co-founder of B Summit. Okay, we have another group. We have another talk after this meetup, and then very soon. The next year, we have the first indie game carnival. And at that time, there are over 30 games on Shong. And also, Simon invited Igarashi-san and what we call the triangle of Castlevania to China. And after that, 2 years later, we have We Play, the first We Play, from 2B event to 2C event. And right now, WePlay has been the biggest from the scale, the biggest premium game event. Normally happen in November in Shanghai. And here are some information. And also, the second one will be G Fusion, which is running by G-Core, I just mentioned. They're headquartered in Beijing. It's the first offline event they organized back in 2016. And this is the 2025 G Fusion, Beijing, in Beijing. It happened last weekend, and there are some numbers. Normally, there are a lot of attendees for this event. For example, there is a significant rise of the attendees number. In last year, they have two events going on in Guangzhou and Beijing, and attendees is more than 48,000 people. And another one I need to mention is Game Connection. It's a B2B event. Since 2021, Game Connection brings a lot of indie game from all over the world to China Joy. So this year there are more than 130 indie games from all over the world you can see at Game Connection at China Joy. And also they have a Steam page for that. So every time Game Connection runs with China Joy, a lot of games will get more exposure on Steam. So when is the first time that I heard about indie game for the first time, which is in the year of 2009. There was a very CD, what we called a peer-to-peer platform. And the first time I saw indie games on mainstream media in China gaming industry, which is because of Journey, that game company. And the year was in January of 2013. And the first time I wrote about indie games, mainstream media, which is Ultra Console Game, that was in the year of 2014. I was in charge of indie game column. And also another magazine, which we have a column, it's called the Chinese Indie Developers. And also another online media, but right now it's closed. It's called Vice.cn. So the first batch of platforms for Chinese indie developers to release their game is Adobe Flash. I think maybe some of the senior developers can recognize these three icons. It's Newgrounds, Congregate, and Armor Games. And the first time we see a gaming platform establish indie game session, it's exclusively for Chinese developers, which is in 2015, 10 years ago, on App Store. And at that time, we were so happy, and we post a lot of photos. That's me and my friend, who is in charge of the Meta Break Video Game Museum in Guangzhou. So if you want to know more about Chinese indie developers, I would recommend you to go to indienova.com. They have the developer report almost every year. So start from 2017, and then 2019, and 2020. So let's take a look at the video game market in China in 2023. So everyone knows that in China there are so many gamers, and amongst them, the client-based games took about 22.8% of overall, which means it's a big number. It's 153 million. That includes almost everything. And also, according to the official report from Steam last year, so Simplified Chinese take around 33.7% of all the users. So according to this, I think we can give you a number. It's a conservative estimate. The number of Chinese gamers in 2024 on Steam should be 45 million plus. So how did it all start on Steam? The first one is Dota 2. Yeah, in the year of 2013, Dota 2 was released on Steam. It attracted around 100,000 gamer players get onto Steam. And then it reached a lot of great positive reviews in China. So it attracted around 10 million people later into Steam gamers. And we have a saying for Steam, which is the Dota 2 launcher, because they only play that game. But they were not just stay on one game. So the first hit from China, who got 1 million copies sold. But in the end, that's 2 million copies sold, which is lost soul aside in 2016. And also, another one is Planet Explorer. It reached 2.5 million copies sold before 2018. And the third one, maybe some of you guys have heard, in the year of 2018, a game came from nowhere and stayed on the top list of the trending games on Steam for over 2 weeks. It got 2 million copies sold in 2 years after its release. It's the Scroll of Taiwu. And again, there are so many new gamers that will not stay on just one game. So there is something similar happen again, which is the Tale of Immortal. They got 4 million copies sold. So I think we have got some insight in this. There are not only distinctions between categories, but each category presents a vast space that can be further vertically segmented. Moreover, even within each segmented area, there can be further subdivisions. And also, the next milestone could be Titan's Fair Program, which is published by Gamirror Games. It reached 2.5 million copies sold after its release. And also, yeah, there are more and more. For example, The Warm Snow, another 2.5 million copies sold. So I think there is a significant trend here. Just like the mobile game giants in China had been enjoying the demographic dividend for over a decade. A very similar phenomenon is emerging in the desktop platform, especially on Steam. So I have done some research. Right now, around 80% plus college and university students are active gamers on Steam. And the number of 80% is only half, only 2 years ago. So the circulation goes up very quickly. And around 15% amongst all these 80% college students, they started to create their own game, despite what major they study in the college. And the numbers are still rising. And also, I think everyone knows this game, right? The Black Myth Wukong. So according to there's some kind of, database platform like Gamallytic. It gave us a very stunning, fact, which is Black Myth Wukong sold 11.8 million copies in China only in 10 days. I think right now it's the ceiling. It's definitely the ceiling. And also, these are the new gamers. They came to Steam platform because of Black Myth Wukong. And again, they will not stay on just one game. So I think right now we cannot say what is niche in China because it's a market with a rapid, increasing circulation. Anyone, if you can attract people from China, there will be a chance. And also, you may heard of ISBN, which is a license from the government, right? When you want to publish your game in China. Well, which is true if you want to publish a game on, for example, Tencent WeGame and Steam China, because Steam China is totally different from Steam. And also console or mobile, you will need license for each platform. For example, which means desktop, you will need one license. Console, you will need another license. For the mobile, you will need another license. So normally, you would take at least a half year to get license from foreign studios. So, and also you need a local publisher to apply for that. With sometimes you need to modify something like there's no blood, no Chinese or no English other than the names of people or studio. And here comes, I think, the most important fact that in my speech, which is if you want to release your game on Steam in China, there's no license needed. You can do it right away. So I think people get confused with Steam China and Steam. We're now talking about Steam International Server. Yeah. So how to enter Chinese indie game market, I think the first thing to do is a must, which is to support Chinese, simplify Chinese on Steam page first. Make sure that checkbox be checked. There's an example. It's a game that was very popular in China back in 80 years ago. The developer of this game, I met with him during GDC 2017, and I think his name is Brian. He asked me, "What happened in China? You know, my game, we have very limited, text. I think maybe someone can do the localization from English to Chinese in only a day, but after localization, our sales boosted up to 3 times in China." So yeah, that's a really inspiring showcase to do the localization first. And then there is another example from, I think it's from a Korean indie game developer. The name is Replica. This game was localized by Indie Nova, as I mentioned earlier. And it reached a lot of, I think, a really good sales in China. Here, there are a lot of, there are more than 90% positive reviews from China. And this is the first game became a hit from Korea on Steam in China. And also you can see there are about 25% of the owners, who purchased the game and gave a good review. Well, I have to say, just doing localization for Chinese game is far from sufficient, because when we talk about the indie game publishing, is to find people with similar preference with the developer or the key producer, which is totally different from the major mobile game publishing methodology. The most important logic for indie game publishing, I think, is to know where your target audience is. So we can give you some more examples. For example, this game, PUBG, has done something really good to create some content relevant to Chinese language, culture, and costume. It's for the Chinese New Year. And also this game, I think we have seen a lot of good examples. And also, people may get confused. Why there are so many negative reviews from China? Well, I think I can give another showcase, which is the Wild Frost. Well, before we go into detail, I would like to give suggestions to people who would love to try to release their game to engage Chinese gamers. Well, they have a different idea on sum up and sum down, which is positive review and negative review. Normally, I think the worst situation for a game is after release, there's no review at all. Because even Chinese gamers give you negative review, that means they care about the game. But the problem is why they give you negative review is they know you are going to read negative review very carefully. So they will give their feedback in such a way. They will say, okay, I think the game is not bad, but I think maybe it's too difficult. Yeah, maybe it's something not so good. So there is a hidden message in the negative review, which is if you can change that, I will turn sum down to sum up. But not many people know that. So for example, the Wild Frost, they have done a good localization. It's released in 2023 in April. But the problem is the negative review is in China is way much higher than average from the rest of the world. So what happened? Here, I think the most important thing is they find someone to do the localization. But the problem is it's a small team. They don't really understand what's happening in China. So when they got some review says, oh, maybe this game is just a little bit too hard, and they start to got an announcement and really translated really well. Says, oh, we will give more detailed tutorial and we are going to adjust the difficulty. But the real meaning of Chinese gamers review says, I think the randomness of this game is just too high, not because of the difficulty. So yeah, even if they have someone to do a good localization to translate all the comments, but the hidden message was not conveyed. So that caused some serious problem, which is from the further, from the further negative review, it says we are not newbies because the Chinese gamers think they are offended. We are not newbies. We have played a lot of difficult games. We're just talking about the randomness is not so reasonable, and if you just change that, that would be good. So it goes to a negative circulation, and also someone just post a video to say something like that, and a lot of people got affected. That caused a high, negative ratio on Steam. So that's the reason we need to find someone who really knows what Chinese gamers want. So I think localization is something you must do, and beside that, you need someone who can take really good care of the community to do effective communication between your team and the gamers. So that's one of the reasons why we incubated Gamirror Games. Okay, thank you so much. That's my speech.
Thank you very much. 여러분 질문 있으시다면 저희 한 개 정도 받을 수 있을 것 같습니다. Due to limited time, I think we can take just one question from the floor. 이동해 주시면 마이크에다 대고 말씀을 해주시면 되겠습니다.
그러면은 그 퍼블리셔 입장에서 그 모바일 관련해 가지고는 많은 메일들을 받으실 텐데 가장 중요하게 생각하시는 건 지금 그냥 개인적으로 어떻게 생각하시는지 여쭤보겠습니다.
Well, our focus is mainly on the console and desktop gamers. But as you can see, it's a huge market in China. So mobile game is kind of a dominated space. So I think in my mind, I think to my understanding, the majority of the mobile gamers in China normally they will use the mobile game to kill time, or I think the hyper casual genre can be a really good genre to try, because we have seen some of the showcases, but unfortunately it's not part of my speech today. So I would love to say that because the hyper casual normally using HTML5, right? Normally you cannot use very heavy graphic like 3D style, and you cannot because the download time is very is limited. So I think in China there is a huge opportunity if someone who can do really good game design, and because you will need a higher level of game design to do the hyper casual than AAA or AA game. So there is a big chance for you to to make a hit, which is way beyond the hit of Steam, because the numbers of the mobile gamers are maybe 6 to 8 times bigger than Steam users.
Thank you very much. 여러분 큰 박수 한번 부탁드리겠습니다. 고맙습니다.